Hi guys, and welcome back. This is Above Average FPL. My name is Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. How you doing, mate?
Very, very well, mate. Very well.
That sounds surprising, given the weeks that we've had, both FPL and
Yes.
football wise. I don't know. FPL feels like I've done okay, but football I'm just
Yeah.
pissed off. To be honest, we can cover that, but yeah,
It's not fun being a Spurs fan at the moment, mate.
no, it's a bit miserable. How's your FPL week going though?
Worse? I guess the thing is, I think is that it's bloody hard to see where the points are. Like, it really is difficult in terms of it. Nobody that I haven't got had like double-digit big weeks. So probably the closest. Did Andreas get
11.
11
think
in the
Andreas
end?
got 11,
Yeah, with
yeah.
bonus actually. So he probably had that today.
Yeah.
But yeah, just some mad players getting the points. The Almirons, as we see, Miggy, Castagna, Madison. Obviously, there's just lots of trolls. I mean, Ward is just killing
Oh,
us.
mate, seriously. I saw a tweet because someone said, like, since game week 8, since we all brought in Nick Pope's conceded half as many goals as Danny Ward, and he's had 20 points, whereas Danny Ward's got 32. Like,
it's just
stupid.
Really. I mean, the thing is, though, like on ranks and stuff, it's just unbelievably close. I was trying to work that through in my brain. So there's 100 points between being 1K right now and being 1 million.
I'm very aware of that.
Yeah, but that's nothing, is it? Really, 100 points is not huge numbers. Like,
I don't know. It feels big after 13 weeks. I mean, you're talking about 8 points a week. Like, that feels like a lot.
No, mate, that can, especially when you apply chippage into that.
Chippage.
So
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So if you take out all the players that have used the extra chips, and that number's getting quite big now, then you take out and say, well, what's the difference between the the 1K players that haven't used chips and the 1K player? Like, it would start all bunching up. I mean, 100 points, 100 points, regardless of wherever it is. But there is quite a lot of people now, like 42% of the game have used their free hit now.
42% of the top 10K.
Oh, top 10K, yeah.
Yeah, and 26% of the total game. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big number.
Yeah.
That's a big number. 16% have used their triple captain, 11% have used the bench boost. Everyone leaves bench boost in it. I've seen some massive benches in the last few weeks.
I've seen 36 this week, I think.
Yeah. Mikey, one of our guys on the scout competition, I think that was about 36. Ward, Andreas, Castagna, Neko. Oh, some big benches. But I just think it is still really, really, really tight, and you can fluctuate a lot. Like, my week at the moment looks really bad. I've got 2 to play. I've got Zuma and Bowen. If both of them return tomorrow, I go from having a horrendous red arrow to I'm back to okay again.
Yeah.
It's, we've got 3 weeks to the break. You just need to, it's the old put yourself in the position to get lucky bit, isn't it?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, I mean, my week's been okay. Normal stuff. We both had Haaland as captain, and the Andreas kind of picked me up. And obviously, I've missed points from Cancelo and Foden, which was a bit frustrating, like a lot of people. We'll talk about the whole world going from Trossard to Foden and then that happening. And then, obviously, Andreas has done me good today, and I got fortunate with no Arsenal impact as well. So,
yeah,
it's been weird because we've kind of been lots of bad things happening have been offset by not so bad things happening, and that's why, as you say, everyone's in this kind of 45 to, I know you're on 40 now, but 45 to 55 kind of area, and we all feel like we're there, which is quite strange because we're all ranked at like 5 million.
Except like our mate Korf, who's on 72 points or whatever it is.
Prick. Well done, Korf.
We love you, Korf.
Yeah. Yeah, so just I'm all out now, so that's me. I'm on a red arrow, and I'll get a further red arrow. But there we go.
Not big though. Like tomorrow, there's no ownership.
No, not big.
No ownership at all.
Not big. So, okay, before we go on into the games and other stuff, Just going to say hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. So, Isaac, Ashiraya, hello to you both. Mike, Steve, Dan, as always, in there. FPL Spartans. Gabe is in the chat tonight, which is good. David Hunter and Mark, 74 UK. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a good game week so far. If you've got any players left to play, let us know. And obviously, we'll be doing questions at the end as well. So feel free to drop some questions in there when we get closer to the end of the games. Very quick plug. If you don't know where to find us, at Above Average FPL on Twitter, at Baker FPL343. Supported by our good friend Dan, Crypto Block Dan. If you're interested in cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, the use cases of the technology, all that good stuff, Dan is the man to go and speak to. Drop him a follow on Twitter, and he very kindly supports us as we do what we do. If you want to support us yourselves, we've now set up Patreon, so please head over to patreon.com/Above Average FPL. We'll be doing a lot more content over there. We'll be doing more content over there for people as well. So if you want some of that, then you have to head over.
Yeah, nice little place where we, chat with the guys about our teams each week, their moves, our moves. It's good.
It's good. Priority questions on streams, stuff like that.
Yeah. And more. So cool. Should we just, because funny enough, actually, we should have done this when I was talking through it. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So yeah.
And that's with for anyone listening on the podcast, that's the game week scores up. And I'm going to take them back down again because we're going to move on to Forest versus Liverpool.
Straight in.
First game yesterday. Yeah. So big news with no Darwin. A lot of people flocked to Salah captain, or a few people did. Not many, but a few. And I say not many because if you looked at I looked at my ownership, and it was exactly the same impact at my rank at 1 million as it was in the top 10k. Like it was 45%. That was it. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, it was in that sense. The elite managers, so Elite 1000, as you get on review, and the Elite 64 and all those places, the EO for Salah was about 100. Between like 98 and 100, I think it was, because he's those ones. So I think, most engaged managers, I say engaged, like it's more than engaged, the historically engaged managers have brought him in. I think we were all fearful with this game. But, we talked last week, didn't we? And we were like, how can you go against Mo when how can you go against Erling when he's been rested?
Yeah.
Just difficult. You just don't know what you're going to see. Once we've got the leak out that Darwin wasn't going to play, it tempts. It definitely tempts. But that team, when you look at it, you're like, that might not function.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, it was a case of like where we don't know. Firstly, we don't know if he's going to play centrally, and secondly, is he going to get the same opportunities with that team behind him if he was to play centrally? Probably not. And I think, am I using outcome to determine whether I regret bringing him in? Probably. I just do feel like I keep getting dragged into him, and it's not. I mean, like his XG was something like 0.01 behind Haaland this week. So
yeah, but like I had a conversation with our mate Flapjack about this earlier. Literally,
it's because he posted it on Twitter yesterday,
and about it being quite close. And I'm like, yeah, that's like again, that's kind of outcome. That's kind of outcome. Like, but realistically, they didn't perform very well against West Ham. We shouldn't forget that West Ham have not been brilliant. And Liverpool did not function at all against them midweek. And maybe that's tiredness. Maybe it's just they simply just keep losing players. Like this time last season, we were thinking, is Jota going to play every week? And that was our only thing we're thinking. Now, I mean, they'd rip their arm off to have Jota every week at the moment. They're not really a functioning team.
That's forward and back as well. That's the thing. It's
forward and back. Is I've made my point a few times about Joe Gomez is just Sunday league. It's not even Sunday league. Like he's an athletic guy, but the moment I literally have gifted, I'll send it to you later. But there was a moment at the end when he passed the ball on the line. It then got passed back towards him, and he just needed to put his foot through the ball, and he starts backing off. It's just like, this is just a bad defender. He's a awful centre back. Like I felt so bad for Milner that he came off because I was like, he actually, you could see the level of commitment. I thought he was their best player. Worked really, really hard. Robbo, you can see a little bit, you know, the drive of Robbo's good in the team, put plenty of crossing in, but they're not a functional team. And so we're just hoping and relying on this news that it's going to work out. But why I say it's not functional is we've used these charts for like a year now. And the one thing you see is like the Forest one that we're looking at on the screen now is what we normally expect of Liverpool, is that they will hit you and hit you hard. And then they'll hit you hard again, and then they'll hit you hard again. And before you know it, you're 3-0 down. They're not. They're kind of playing a bit like we used to have at Arsenal last season.
Year. Yeah.
Where they end up with a relatively good XG total, but it's because they just accumulate. And it's just a false position. You know, Wolves did that today against Leicester when we get to them. Like that, Liverpool are a direct team. They're a fast team. They're a high quality team. They have some of the best ball delivery, you know, from Trent and Robbo that we've ever seen from, you know, wide players. And then, you know, great attacking assets. That's not the chances they're creating. You just can't trust them.
Yeah. But, I mean,
what can you do about Mo?
I mean, with Leeds next game, I would just feel like I don't need to move the money on either. That's the weird thing. No. I'm not desperate to move it on because there's players. I mean, I'm already maxed out on City, and then who else do you really want? I mean, I've got 2 Newcastle already. That's fine. I mean, whilst, you know, Guimaraes and Almiron in particular look like really good picks, or Almiron in particular looks like a really good pick.
Yeah.
But like, then what do you do with? There is a bit of price bias, I guess, in that as well. Obviously, I just don't feel like it's worth it unless. The only way I would do it is if I would go back to Kane. That's the only thing I can think of, because I've now tripled up on City already, and the Foden rest means that I'm not interested in going back to KDB.
The only thing about it is that if you somehow manage to roll in 14, and let's be fair, for all of us who hasn't already got your triple Arsenal, then it's then that's kind of what everyone's priority this week is. Am I covered on Arsenal? Really? But if you could roll, you do have an option for those last 2 games if you wanted to go KDB.
Yeah, okay.
You can move on someone. You can move on Cancelo.
Okay, cool. Well, bring this back to Liverpool.
Yeah,
bringing it back to Liverpool.
But what is there about Liverpool? Like,
well, I don't know. We still got to wait on. I mean, if you've got Darwin, I would still wait on that because obviously we're expecting him to come back next week.
Yeah, and play Leeds.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you've got all of them, you keep all of them. Yeah. But could anyone go there now?
I don't think you're making a move towards them, though.
No,
not at all. And
you're not going to get hurt if you make a move. If you don't make a move towards them, are you? Because the ownerships are just not there. No. But you might make a big gain.
Dangle a little carrot out there for people.
That is the carrot, but
okay.
I couldn't take a hit for one.
No, that's fair. Should we move on
Forest?
to
We should talk about Forest.
Why?
Serge was good, wasn't he?
Well, he was good, but you're not going to pick him.
I know.
You just wanted to talk about Serge. I mean, they pressed Liverpool well. I think if we're talking about just the individual game, I guess, yeah, no, they were good. To be fair, I think they were unlucky not to concede a couple of goals from Van Dijk as well. I mean, Henderson's massively obviously kept them. He's basically won them the 3 points at the end there. In particular, and Van Dijk's had some bad decision making because I don't even know whether those chances would have counted. Like if Van Dijk doesn't head it across to Firmino, right, and actually just heads it down, I don't even know whether that registers as XG. It looks like it might have done.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think it's counted as a shot?
He only went down as 0.3 XG, and his chances were definitely bigger than 0.3 XG in total for the entire game.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay.
But even that, like 1/5 of the XG for Liverpool this weekend was Van Dijk.
Yeah.
It's
like you said, the good deliveries, and he's an aerial threat. And Forest were bad at set pieces.
They were.
They just weren't picking them up at all.
No.
Do you want to talk any more about Forest, or can we move on?
Well, I guess the only thing about them is defensively, do you target them over these next 3 weeks?
I mean, the only upside I really see, you're not getting anything from. I mean, I know Neco got a clean sheet, but like if he's coming off at 65 minutes, and you've got Aurier as a risk there for him. I know they both started, but I mean, is Dean Henderson the only person you go for? And why would you make a transfer on a keeper?
You wouldn't go there, but I am thinking that they've got Arsenal next. And have we seen enough here that would put you off Arsenal a little bit more?
No, not really. Not really. I think Liverpool had enough. I mean, they're 1.5 XG, but they created enough. They had enough shots.
Yeah.
I think the volume was there, wasn't it?
The volume is still there.
15 shots, 7 on target.
Yeah.
Whilst 1.5 XG, but yeah, the volume's still there. So no, I don't think so, to be honest.
And I think if you were going defender this week on Arsenal, maybe the Gabriel or Saliba is the better option than the White this week, if you've not been. Just thinking that Tomiyasu, when they were chasing the game, they put Tomiyasu at right back rather than White. Interesting.
Surprise package. Probably the surprise package of the weekend, I think, out of all of the results. Because like this, there was nothing to. I mean, other than you could say Palace had some potentially shaky away form, or were worse away from home than they are at home. I certainly didn't expect Everton to come out and they've created 2 massive chances.
Yeah.
Although granted, there's 2 shots in that Anthony Gordon goal. There's obviously the save, and then I don't even know if that counts because the goal was 0.96 XG. If I looked right, it was that high on FootMob. Honestly, it was so high.
That is ridiculous.
It's because there was no keeper, right? The keeper.
Wasn't there. It's the new rules next year, isn't it? The context piece, no keeper.
It's basically no keeper. So they just said, go for it. It's all yours. I'm just having a quick look, see if I can.
Oh, go back on Liverpool a sec. What did Brennan Johnson's bit at the end? When he hit the post? Nothing.
He was offside. He was given offside.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was given offside because Alisson was up for the corner.
Of course.
And it was hilarious that no one had picked that up. I think everyone just assumed. No. I think the defender knew. I can't remember who the last defender was, but I think he knew. 0.93 for Gordon.
Wow.
0.96 once it was on target. Even though there's no one there.
That was bad as well, calling that offside. When it literally was like, God. What are you even doing looking at that?
It's a terrible decision.
Absolutely terrible decision. But Everton, back to them. I guess this is... If you look at a lot of... Like SofaScore and so, for example, they don't say they're playing the same formation, but I kind of feel like they are, in that they're both playing 4 at the back, both have sort of 3 midfielders in there that do stuff. Certainly 2 midfielders that sit almost, and then some fancy men and a striker.
Yeah, it feels more like a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, and Palace is about the same.
Yeah.
Eze and Millie, and then Ayew, Elise, Zaha. It's like these players that you wouldn't necessarily say exactly what sort of wing they play on, and they can do both sides and do all that stuff.
Fluid.
The good thing when you have matchups like that where it's quite similar tactically, it's kind of a little bit who wants it more, and Everton really wanted it a lot more, in terms of how they played. You could just feel it. And some of the play from Everton, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. And we've said it, though. They needed a midfield, but now they've got it. Anana, Idrissa Gueye and Iwobi, they're players. The foundation's there. The centre-backs are great.
It was the Gordon goal that was that started at the back with Pickford, wasn't it? I'm just trying to think. Yes, it was the Gordon goal.
And even that ruined the fact that it was offside and went for the VAR. Then you didn't really take from the game. But the McNeil one.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Yeah, Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, they were cruising at that point, though. I mean, it was you could see the confidence change. But again, that Gordon goal, the thing that makes the Gordon goal even better is that the Everton fans were nervous as hell when they were playing it out of the back, and there was oohs and all this sort of stuff. You could feel them getting angry about it, like, why are we doing this? And then suddenly they score one of the best goals of the weekend. So
brilliant. Will Saha,
petulant prick. That's my edit.
What can we do about Will Saha though? Because Southampton at home,
it's difficult. It's difficult because, I mean, Southampton, they kept Martinelli relatively quiet.
Yeah.
To be fair,
but they got no
right backs. Well, that was it. That's what we were looking at the start of the week, weren't we? We were saying like no Kyle Walker-Peters, no whoever else they've got. I mean, who did they play there today? I mean, they played.
Was it Coletta Carr played?
No, Lianco.
Lianco, who was just a. Well, as well, he was mad. He got that booking from trying to. He was trying to have a fight with Nketiah, I think it was at the end. I mean, Lianco versus Zaha. I mean, it looks like there's going to be a red card one way or another. Yeah, you cannot take Zaha out at home against Lianco. Can't do it.
He goes away to West Ham and then away to Forest after that. I just feel like if you take him out, you'll miss the points. You'll miss points.
Every single player I've taken out for the last 4 weeks has scored immediately. So,
can you take him out? I'll keep him.
I'm keeping him
now. Yeah, Dan. I hate owning Zaha as well. I hate it. I just hate him.
Let's just note it down that when we come back, we do not have Zaha. That's it. We're done with it. We've had our fun. Done.
What are the fixtures like in 17 though?
Oh, don't. Don't. Next week on the old app where it shows like next three game
what's
weeks.
What's it going to show?
Will it show it?
Yeah, it'll show 17. Yeah.
Home to Fulham, first game after Christmas. I can't believe it.
And then it's Bournemouth, by the way.
No.
No. Mate, he's in until 2023. We can take him out. We can take him out for Tottenham at home on the 2nd of January. But he's in until the end of the year, mate. The calendar year.
I don't want him anymore.
The most annoying thing about this week anyway was the fact that obviously did he get fouled? I don't know. He got pushed off the ball.
Wasn't even his foul. It was a foul that Gay made, so that he should have got the booking. And then he went, "Yeah, I'll win the header," and they just twat him with the elbow for the fun of it.
He's so petulant. It's ridiculous, and just went over the top. Gay comes in, gets involved, gets himself booked as well, and I've got both of them. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. I'll be interested to hear Walsh talk about this
on FML. They're just horrible people that Palace players just don't want it.
Okay, so can we talk about
Everton?
Iwobi DCL? Is he back? Obviously small sample size, etc.
How good was the Megs on Gay for the goal?
Oh yeah,
that was nice. That was nice. Not only did it, but then just sort of barged past him as well, just to double it up.
I say I enjoyed it. I knew Gay got no points, and then I saw that, and I was like, yeah, well, that's probably
absolutely done him. Yeah, nice. Yeah, really pleased for it. Look, he's gonna want to push, isn't he? He was firmly sort of understudy to Harry, and he's been out.
He shouldn't be there, but he should be there just because I think Tony's better as well. Yeah, he shouldn't be there because Tony's better, in my opinion, anyway. But
the games though.
Fulham,
Leicester, Bournemouth.
Well, he has. I mean, he scores 3 or 4 goals and just puts himself in the conversation. He can do it. But Iwobi, I think we've overlooked him now. And he's kind of come up. It's too late. Yeah,
it's gone.
Gone. City.
Enjoy it.
Right, I'm going to ask this question because this is going to come back a little bit later, I'm sure. But Haaland, first goal, foul? No foul.
Oh, it's a foul. course it's a foul.
Just bundles him, didn't he?
Just push two hands out.
Yeah.
We're going to have to call it a foul because when we get to Tottenham later, we're going to want to say that's a foul. So we can't not say this is a foul. So we've got to say this is a foul.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think it's a different situation because they're alongside each other rather than facing each other. I don't think Webster's strong enough. I genuinely
and he's massive
and he's big. I don't think he's strong enough, and I think he's assuming that he's going to get the decision.
Yeah.
For me, that goes either way. I'm not unhappy with it.
I think because he's got the ball, it's just like stuff. And also, I think there is a little bit of the person.
Because he's got the ball, he gets the decision. Is that how
I feel a little bit, but I feel like if it was, for example, it was...
Because that's not how it worked today.
Yeah. But if it was, say, Haaland up against Lamptey, like... how far would he have gone? That'd have been like the scene in Wolf of Wall Street, wouldn't it? That would have been a long way. Yeah, like I feel like because it's big man and big man, it's like, yeah, it's okay. We're just going to let that
fair.
go.
Off you go.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I kind of didn't expect him to blow it.
Yeah,
it's a nice take on the chest to get past the keeper, in the first place.
Yeah.
But they just looked a bit.
Well, it wasn't. It didn't really look like they were under. Well, I mean, I thought City were decent first half, and I mean, I think there's obviously not many chances here. I think there was enough in Match of the Day in terms of content that they put out as well. There was enough there. I'll say the Silva penalty, no, but at the same time, I think Haaland should have had a penalty earlier on. That's one of those balance the book decisions. I feel like, and but
they do keep giving a goal away from bugger all XG, don't they? Like that, like they find a way.
I think that's weak from Ederson.
It is weak.
I just think he had full view of that. I don't care if you're a good shot stopper, bad shot stopper. You shouldn't concede from outside your box at your near post when you've got full view of it. Ever.
Nah. Weekend.
Yeah.
There's just a little bit of complacency in that defence. I thought Akanji probably had his first bad game, I felt. I think Stones comes back in.
There's a lot of time. It's a difficult one for the defence because a lot of the time they don't have to be at their best. They just don't have to be.
No.
Like they can just cruise through most games, like 0.45 extra. It's like they hardly do anything because the ball spends so much time at the other end of the pitch.
Yeah.
Do you feel more confident about Foden points or Foden minutes now that he's been benched and rested?
Absolutely shocked, to be honest, because I always think that, if he's fit, he starts and he's fine. And suddenly he doesn't. But I don't feel like they function properly with Mahrez and Grealish. Like I always feel like you need one weapon. And I know that Mahrez always gets really good chances and he always does the stuff because he's greedy. But it's just that person that's going to try and get in behind. And Mahrez kind of sneaks in behind. Do you know what I mean? Like he's the one that somehow in a crowded box, the ball comes over and he's managed to get himself free. But he never really feels like he stretches the defence. And Foden feels like he does that. And Alvarez, who's on the right, feels like he does that. But Grealish and Mahrez, they just slow the game down a little bit too much for me. I don't know why you would play both of them. They're brilliant players. Like, imagine Tottenham, we had either of those two players. Like, it'd be the best thing that's ever happened to us. But yeah, I would always try and play one of what I call the more weapons, the one the small man to the big man, as it were, in Foden or Alvarez. So I don't necessarily think I think that is just a one-off, but it is odd.
Yeah.
The good news is that we get early team news probably, or something. We might get something because it's the first game of the game week against Leicester.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how they line up against. Have they got is Copenhagen again? No, they've played Copenhagen twice. Who have they got? Dortmund.
They've got Dortmund. Yeah. So I think that was it. I think that was the main reason.
Rest for Dortmund, get that over the line. Well, they've qualified already, have they not?
I think they do if they do. I think they win the group basically if they do this and it's done.
Yeah. Okay. When are they playing? Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday. So they are. Yeah, they'll win the group if they. Yeah, they're qualified. They'll win the group if they win.
Didn't feel so annoying though, did it? Even though we'd all brought him in because like everyone had done it.
Because everyone had done
like...
it. It felt like, yeah. I mean, the last 2 weeks have felt like I've been pissed off about what's happened, like outcome wise. But like everyone's done it. Like everyone, game week 12 brought in Salah, brought in Trossard. Everyone brought in Foden for Trossard this week. Yeah. So I don't feel it's annoying, but it's like, well, okay, everyone else is annoyed as well. So I don't know. Nothing changes for me. I'm quite happy having Cancelo. Quite happy having, I'm not going to lose sleep over a team that concedes like half an XG a game.
Yeah,
and having a defender who has quite clearly still got, attacking output in him. So
really interested to watch KDB next week. I don't feel like I'm in a position to say that I'd muck around with Salah to KDB this week, and even off the back of that goal, I'm not. I couldn't believe how little he was involved for someone, of KDB. Like just even in terms of touching the ball, like KDB made 22 passes in a game.
Yeah, we'll
that's weird. Is if you consider, like Rodri's on 55 passes for the game, like the centre backs always have like 100 passes and all that sort of stuff. But Brighton did deprive them a lot of ball.
Yeah.
But much they didn't create the chances, they did manage to do, their possession business to try and make sure is that they didn't massively get on the ball. But players like, again, Mahrez and Grealish, I don't think they're good for KDB. And if he doesn't bang one in from 30 yards, you're like, that's a really disappointing performance.
Yeah, fair enough.
So want to see more of that marauding powerhouse KDB. If I saw that the next week, then it becomes interesting for those last two home games.
If you've still got Trossard, you keep him?
Why wouldn't you? I genuinely like his value is. Yeah. Well, should we go to Chelsea, Man United? Should we do that?
Yeah.
Because that's the next two.
Oh, wrong one. There we go. Chelsea, Man United.
I don't know how Chelsea. That's really weird, isn't it? That Man United's in blue and Chelsea's in red.
Yeah, they've got
really done me in looking at that chart.
They've messed that up.
That can't be right. But that first half, it's just all United. They were just battering them. Like, not only is it like all the chances to them, but all of the field was just, it was constant wave of pressure from United. And then he makes a change after 35 minutes. And it's a good change. He flattened the game out. If you just, on this chart you're looking at now, if you put a line in at 35 and said, how does it run? Chelsea had the better of the last 55 minutes.
Yeah, basically until the goal. Until the goal. And let's see if I can represent that in a different way. So hold on, give me 1 second. I'm going to work on the fly here. Because I know what you want to see.
I feel like Casemiro's just lost his head.
He's lost his head. Yeah, sorry about that. There you go. Let's get you back in there. There we go.
I feel like United are a good team. I feel Rashford looks really unlucky all the time. There you go. The old tilt. Yeah. So you can see it's Man United, the purple, I think we're looking at. And they've really managed to get it back. Then those substitutions at the end. Then once they scored, they put the pressure on. Really good header, I thought, Casemiro's.
Ridiculous header.
I mean, he wanted it, didn't he?
Yeah. He was excellent all game.
Do you think Casemiro's had some work done?
Well, because he looks like he's about 28.
He looks a bit like he's had some work done when I watched him. Yeah. So even when he's like giving it big in the step, like his forehead does not move. But he's a winner, isn't he?
Yeah. Doesn't accept anything else.
Like Bruno.
Just drags them all. Yeah, Bruno's one of those annoying, whiny little pricks again.
Oh, he was on it though all game. He was just he's so in the ear of the ref all game.
He walks like 20 yards to do it. It does my head in. Like him, Zaha.
But he's right back on it, Bruno. Right back on it. I'm not punting on Bruno.
No. Football perspective, football point of view, not FPL for me. But yeah, okay.
Makes
but Casemiro is making them better.
Yeah. I still think you look at them. It's good fixtures. Home to West Ham, away to Villa, away to Fulham. But I just feel like you just let it go.
Well, I mean, you look at you were talking about the FPL app, and you open it up and you got those 3 fixtures. Like United is one of the only ones you look at and you go green, green, green. Other than City, really, and like we've all got 3 City anyway.
The thing is, Fulham are good at home, mate, and Villa turned up today. So those fixtures suddenly get a little bit worse potentially in 2 weeks' time.
So we know nothing about Villa again.
We know nothing about it. We genuinely, other than they must hate Steven Gerrard.
Clearly. Anything else FPL wise for Chelsea and for United?
Avoid Chelsea like the plague.
Yeah, it's still.
And unlucky if you had Kepa, mate, because he is so good right now.
Yeah,
I mean, even to almost save that the late Casemiro one.
So,
I mean, so good. Yeah.
Yep. I was quite happy to see them concede though.
Very much so.
Good stuff. On to today. So the race to 1.5 XG was won by Villa today.
Absolute hatred of Steven Gerrard. And it is like Danny Ings is the one that probably has suffered a lot. I mean, there's just so much in it. Danny Ings is the one that has probably been not the golden boy, like gets to occasionally play with Watkins, but doesn't really get the full thing, despite being the guy that came in, the proven this is your last big move type thing. Leon Bailey, we know, has been in and out. He drops Coutinho, plays Buendia, and they've just gone.
Yeah.
So there was rumours, weren't they, about that Gerrard locked him in and did all sorts of.
I mean, the lock him in thing. I mean, it's just fine, whatever. But then to see,
we can't comment. We don't know if things were true, but
alleged rumours, etc.
Yeah, the rumours were, but yeah.
But can we take anything from this game though? I don't know whether we can take anything from this game because we know that Brentford aren't great away from home. They're definitely nowhere near as good away from home as they are at home.
Yep. Brentford's a don't buy, don't sell, because like Wolves at home, Forest away, then City away for the last 3. You're like, if you've got Tony, you're going to keep him for at least 2 weeks.
Yep.
If you haven't got Tony, you're probably not getting him.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not going to punt on Villa.
You're not going to punt on Villa, so that's what it is. Ollie Watkins doing Ollie Watkins things at the end. 3 chances to get a goal.
Yeah. Newcastle, United, Brighton. No, we don't want any part of any of those games whatsoever.
Nah. Let's see Villa after Christmas.
Clearly shows Gerrard hadn't got a clue on team selection and formation. Yeah, they probably just fucking hated him as well. I think that's it. That is it. That is a thing. I mean, as well.
That's just they hated him.
Yeah. Evening, Mikel. Hope you're doing well. Right. Leeds, Fulham. Fun game.
Fun game.
Really fun game. And I think Leeds were. I don't want to say Leeds were a bit unlucky. I thought I watched a lot of this, and it just was back and forth. The graph really tells the story. I mean, I can't really remember all the chances around the goals because the goals were the bigger ones, but like Pereira was just on it, like just ridiculous.
So good,
like just and so advanced as well the whole time. I mean, if you haven't got Pereira, and I know you don't, so apologies, but if you haven't got him, I mean, like I don't think I've felt more comfortable with a 4.5 million asset ever.
Never.
Ever. I mean, like, if he was 7 million, then he'd be fine.
Yeah.
7.5? 7, because it's Fulham.
6.5.
6.5. Let's go 6.5.
Yeah. Like, we called him at the start of the season, like, baby JWP, but he's a lot more than that in the attacking sense.
Well, he's more advanced than Mitrovic, who still doesn't look quite right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to say that, he basically came out at the end of last game and said, I haven't trained in 3 weeks. I haven't trained properly in 3 weeks. I'm on painkillers.
I mean, he's just an animal. Just love him. Just love him. And that is part of it, though, isn't it? That he's constantly hitting a ball towards a striker that just gobbles up chances. So it always gives him a chance with, and it gives all of these midfielders a chance with a bonus and stuff because they get so many key passes because he has so many shots.
Yes.
But they're an attacking outfit. Like they just keep going. And now they've got Harry Wilson in. So you've got Willian, you've got Wilson, you've got Andreas, just phenomenal. There's a big decision for a lot of people this week about Andreas.
What about whether to start him?
Yeah. And who you don't start him, who you don't start as a result of it. Because ultimately, for a lot of people, he was their fifth midfielder.
Yeah.
Which means that if you got Solanke, for example, Solanke, I think you'd play Andreas home to Everton. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you had the choice of one of the two, if you got other people though, it's like,
well, yeah. I mean, if for me, it's like Solanke home to Tottenham, as you say. Yeah, go Andreas, or Neco Williams away to Arsenal. Go Andreas.
Yeah.
So, no, he's perfectly fine this week.
You've got to play. I think he's just on such the game. Like I say about it, like I took him out in game week 10 because I wanted to go 5 midfield. I could have just gone 5 midfield with him. But he'd gone like 2-1, 2-1, was getting booked every game, lost his set pieces. And I was like, okay, I feel okay with this now. I'm on a short period of time. I'll do this. He's now taking all the set pieces, took corners from both sides, took all the free kicks. Willian didn't take a single one. I thought Harry Wilson back today, maybe he'll take some.
Nope.
Nothing. He took the lot. Like so you've got a guy taking all the set pieces against a brilliant header of a ball and a team that always get above 1.5 XG. Like I took him out and I felt like he was a £5 million asset and I took him out, even though, so he was still performing above it. He's now, like you say, 6.5, easy. I've conceded 24 points to him in the last 4 weeks and I've got away with it because Wednesday night he was brilliant. Yet today again he was brilliant.
Efficient as well. Really, really efficient.
Just a really good player.
Yeah,
really good player. Mitrovic.
I mean,
could have had more. Again, every game you think, look at him, he could have had more.
Yeah, and the thing is, he doesn't need to. He doesn't. I mean, we talk about this injury, but he doesn't actually need to move to create those chances. Not really. I mean, the header at the corner was a perfect example.
The thing that's hurting Mitrovic in a way is that he's now got these free creative players that are giving him chances, and then he doesn't get the bonus because they are also scoring there and they're creating all these chances for him, and he's missing the odd one. He's kind of got to get two. Yeah. What a terrible situation we're in when you've got a sub £7 million striker who's only getting 6 points a game. It's just gold. It is gold. That's why I say it's a big decision because in 15, I know they've got City, but they keep conceding. You've really got to look at that.
You think if Akanji's still playing, he'll just bully him?
Oh, mate. Like even that Diaz, mate. Like Diaz wouldn't stand a chance against Mitrovic. Yeah.
Cool. So don't move off of Andreas and Mitrovic if you have them. If you want to move off Mitrovic in 15, I mean, we were looking at that a little bit earlier, I think, and we're just looking at those fixtures, and we can talk about those fixtures coming up. But in fact, no, we were talking before the start, weren't we? Just trying to work out
Leeds,
where would you go.
Where
would you go? Would you go like a? We can talk about that after. Let's talk about that.
If you knew Bamford was going to start, if you knew he was going to start and play 90 minutes, that home to Bournemouth game in 15 could be perfect because he was on literally 30 seconds and he gets a big chance. He's now got like whatever he's got 5 XG this season for no goals. I mean, he's not the greatest finisher in the world.
I was going to say he's just reverting back to type, isn't he?
Yeah, but he does get the chances. You just know
his movement's always been good. His movement's always good. Really good.
Always good.
No, I don't like the Bamford move.
Nah, because they're bringing him in, then you got Tottenham,
you can't sell me on that. I'd much rather go. Yeah, I'd much rather have Tottenham.
Skamaka, I think West Ham.
We'll see what he does tomorrow.
But are any of them anywhere near as good as Mitrovic?
No.
They're not.
No. And they don't suck in XG like he will either.
No.
Lads, why is nobody speaking about Castagna? That's probably because we haven't got to the Leicester game yet, Dal. So just give us a sec.
Should we do that?
No, let's go Southampton Arsenal. Screw it. Probably the dullest game of the weekend. And that, to be fair, actually, the Southampton Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, both absolute disaster games. And I only watched about 15 minutes of this game. I was bored.
Oh, I watched a lot of it, unfortunately, for my life. I put myself through it. We said last week about.
I thought you were just going to have silence there. That's it.
I'm just a bit annoyed about the fact of how well they start and why teams aren't doing anything about it. Because basically, every game they start 1-0. Every single game, they're 1-0 up in 15 minutes. Like, I can't remember the last time it doesn't happen. They go in, they come out fast, and they hit teams hard, and it just happens over and over again. And once they've scored it, they kind of settle into the game. But teams are getting done by it continuously. The sort of 5-man wave in that midfield as it goes forward, just constantly is getting them that first goal. And when Xhaka scored, he could have had 3 returns by that point. Just raced to 0.5 XG straight out off the blocks. They are, brilliant starters.
Yeah.
Now, that's the big thing about the Forest game next week, isn't it? We said last week, you said these exact words. Score early. It's, what did you say, call it? A landslide against for Liverpool, the Liverpool game last week? If you scored against early against Mauling, something like that, we said, but you kind of think Arsenal will score early against Forest, and then what on earth happens then? They just come out so quickly. But then
they just cool off today.
They cool off, and you could feel Southampton were building towards the end of the first half. They had set piece after set piece after set piece. Arsenal are really good at defending set pieces. I probably should say that much. Is JWP? He must wonder what he's doing. They haven't scored a set piece goal all season. He's just putting in balls. Well, you know why?
Lucy Hynett will tell you that Bednarek made the worst move of his life going to Villa.
Yeah.
But decided to sign all these double-barrel names instead.
They just can't get on the end of it. It's a complete waste that you've got this brilliant set piece taker, and it just never ever looks like it. You know, Adam Armstrong's about 4 foot tall. He was awful was Armstrong.
Which was a stark contrast to the midweek when I thought he was actually really good.
Yeah, well, he can be lively, can't he? He can be all right, but what was that one where he was through what it was up against Sleeve on his own, and he just literally just gave up on the ball. It's like he stopped running and the ball just kept going, oh yeah, it's gone. Yeah. But Stuart Armstrong's goal.
That was a really nice goal. In fact, that was part of the 15 minutes that I was watching, which was enjoyable, just for you, Mike. So yeah, good work down the left-hand side, and then Elyounoussi just holding on to it. I mean, just long enough. Good run, good finish. It's just tidy. The whole thing about it was just tidy. It was just a good move, really good move.
I think it's that old thing we say: if you hit the corner against Ramsdale, it goes in.
Yeah, true.
He rarely makes that good. If you go low to his corner, it just goes in.
Okay, FPL.
Xhaka?
Saka?
Which one should you get going for this week? I guess that's the question.
Well, what's that? 2 goals in 2 games for Xhaka? I don't know. You've got a target. You've got a target for us. If you haven't got any like me, I mean, you're probably in the minority. But I think I'm only going to go to one, just because of the fixtures the other side of it. The Chelsea game
I think
And
it's
not
fair.
that I think Chelsea are going to cause Arsenal a problem per se, but they're just individuals across the piece. Chelsea have better players, so I just think that will be a lower scoring game. I think Arsenal beat Chelsea like 4-0 at the end of last season or something like that. I don't think you're not going to get that this time round.
I said last week in the pod, I hate the Jesus pick. I hate it. I despise it, in a way that, especially when you've only got 3 games left now, in that, again, one booking, misses one, and then out of 2 games, doesn't make sense to me, when you could go up to Darwin, home to Leeds, or you can, and also if you've got Mitrovic, like, let's say you bring him in for the Forest game and he gets a booking, and then he doesn't play the Chelsea, and you've got Mitrovic at City. Doesn't make sense for me bringing Jesus. Just even if you can get there, like, for me, I don't like it. I don't know. I'm sure he could easily score a hat trick against that one, but never looks like it. Like I said again on the podcast this week, he's a bad finisher. He had 2 good chances, bad finishes.
Yeah,
not even half decent finishes or half, but like
the one in the second half in particular.
chances.
The one in the first half was a slight miss hit, I would say. But the one in the second half was just a complete
pass back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't going to say pass back, but yeah,
it's a toe punt. It's like literally just
prodded
it straight
which is
forward.
what El Yunusi should have done.
If only he got the poke on that, that would have been perfect. But it's just a bad finisher. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. We can clip that when it.
The bit that I was thinking about clipping was you saying, if only he'd got the poke on that. I thought that was
wow. And the Saka, the only thing that scares me about the Saka pick is almost after the Thursday game, he starts talking about Saka in a good way, like comparing him to the Messi and Ronaldo's. But then sort of Arteta started saying, those players can play 70 games in a season. I'm like, why? Why would you do that to him?
I mean, do you think Forest are going to line up the same as they did this week? I mean, I don't see why they would change, to be honest. I think they should probably... You don't think they will? I mean, they've got...
No, they'll play the same. They'll play exactly the same. Yeah, I expect. I think they'll stay with Neko on that side because...
It makes Saka a better option for me, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal can't beat Serge. Serge is too good.
Too good.
But yeah, no, if I didn't have either, then I would go Saka this week.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, look, the entire, like, every single FPL video you'll see this week will be about Saka. I mean, it was like the whole Foden thing last week. It'll all be Saka.
Tonight, I think going up in price tonight.
Yeah. It'll all be, is he? No, I'm not going to be priced out anyway, so I'm fine. But yeah, every FPL video will have Saka on it.
Yeah, just like I say, because of Pep Roulette potentially next Saturday, I'm just going to wait as long as possible.
Yeah. Found someone who's benched 37 points. Incredible.
Yes. Nice one, Andy Mack.
And 11th in the world. 11th in the world, forgot to change his bench from last game week. Saka, Cancelo, Saliba, and gained 26 points from it. Jesus Christ. A 2 Arsenal.
Luck over skill, mate. Luck over skill all day long.
A 2 Arsenal a must for this game. Do you think if you've got 1, get 2? If you've got 2, keep 2. If you've got none, get 1?
So
I think get 1 more than you get 1. I think if you can get to 2, get to 2, but not for a hit.
Okay. So have City got a bad fixture away to Leicester this week?
No.
Is Brentford for Tony at home to Wolves a good fixture?
Yes.
Is Palace home to Southampton a good fixture?
Yes.
Is Newcastle home to Villa a good fixture?
Yes.
Is Fulham home to Everton a good fixture?
Yes.
Is Liverpool home to Leeds a good fixture?
Yes.
Like,
don't take any hits.
You've got really good options. You've got Bowen away to West Ham, away to Man United. Sorry, be a stranger, but Bowen, West Ham away to United. United are playing well, but he's got 2 good fixtures out the other side. He's definitely an option for you. You've got the Mount away to. If you've got Mount away to Brighton, yeah, get it. I a Tottenham player, but away to Bournemouth.
Kane.
Would you take Kane out for Jesus this week?
No.
No chance.
No.
So do I think you should break your team up for a team with 2 away games and then we're into a break? No, I don't. If you can get there with one easily this week with your free transfer, yeah, why not?
Yeah. I can't. Well, okay, then for me, I can't get to Saka without taking a hit because I'm priced out of Saka unless I bin Zaha. I can get to Martinelli, obviously, but I would have to hit somebody else in to do that. Could I just go like Martinelli and then have those fixtures and go, okay, I've 2 away games? Do I do something like Rashford instead? Do I just say, fuck Arsenal and just go no Arsenal against... I mean, no Arsenal against Southampton was quite tough. No Arsenal against Forest is going to feel really, really tough.
Yeah, but it's on Sunday, so you can enjoy your Saturday night. You can post your score and you're good.
Yeah, but that's what I was doing this week. I mean, I don't know. We can talk about that in a minute, but because we're almost at an hour now, so we've still got 2 games to cover, and we haven't covered Tottenham yet.
We deliberately no, we don't just misery.
Come on,
we are. Yeah.
Move on. Wolves Leicester. Now, I've never seen a chart like this. I've literally never ever seen a chart. So what you can see on screen is basically that Leicester scored 4 goals with their first 4 shots. That's it. And then they had one smallish chance just after Vardy scored. They literally scored everything. And
at half time,
Dal, quickly, Dal, if we'll get to questions after we've finished as well. So
yeah. At half time, Wolves have had 20 shots. I texted you and said that Wolves have had 20 shots here and Leicester have had 2, and it's 2-0 Leicester.
Yeah.
But it's Wolves.
They don't score. They're like Brighton in that sense. We've compared them before, Wolves and Brighton.
The one thing I would say is like I took the piss out of Danny Ward a few weeks back for his flap that he had. Confidence does come quick to keepers, doesn't it? Because he looked really assured.
Yeah, he made a couple of good saves.
But in good positions to make the saves as well.
Yeah.
Can't argue with it.
And then for me, like, we had a question asking about Castagna. I mean, he's basically fluked his way to a clean sheet. And then he's managed to get the last assist for the last goal. So he's like literally out of nowhere, he's got 12 points.
Everybody.
That ain't happening every week.
Everybody who's grabbed all the points off Castagna, are you starting Castagna against City this weekend? Next weekend? And the chances are the majority of people that have him are not going to start Castagna at City next week. And I do not blame them.
That doesn't sound too revolutionary, to be honest.
And so don't think about getting him in either.
Yeah.
So
okay, there you go. Job done.
Well done. If you had him, he's done really well for you. You should be. It's just a massive win if you had him. Like huge.
Yeah, I remember you getting those Webster points last year. Those 15 points.
Yeah, but they've gone nuts. You know, Dow in the chat says he's got 31 points from him in 4 weeks. 31 points in 4 weeks.
How is that a fluke? Because they've kept 4 clean sheets in their last 5 games. Before that, it had been about 8 months, 9 months to get them the previous 4 clean sheets. And they've kept them in like 5 games.
20 shots by halftime.
20 shots by halftime. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah. It's just
I'm sorry,
what it is.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason we said Leicester games always start 1-1. There's a genuine reason. We didn't just say it for shits and giggles and for likes on Twitter.
It includes the XG as well. You know, but hey, if you've had him, if you've had Danny Ward, if you've had Castagna, you have had it off. If you have both, and you've been a Leicester double up in defence, wowzers.
Yeah, nailed it.
Big.
And smashed it over everyone. Brilliant.
Harvey Barnes does the goal that Harvey Barnes does. Just does that same goal just all of the time. He's so good at it.
Yeah.
I'd try and find a way to get Harvey Barnes on the plane just because at some point we haven't got that many players with huge pace, and he has got a lot of it, and he loves that one goal. Wolves just
You're not going there. You're not going
Not
there.
going there.
Cool. All right, let's do it.
Miggy.
The goal literally killed Tottenham.
I mean,
you can see it on the graph. Like chance. Goal goes in, nothing till half time.
1 XG after half an hour. That's the best we've started. Also, there's not even Villa. I'm not even sure reached that part, did they? But Villa is the only team that have got anywhere near that in the first half hour this weekend.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly. Well, they were over 1.5 by 15 minutes, so yeah.
Yeah, but no other team's got anywhere near that this week. That is a very unusual. And then, yeah.
Come on, then. Let's talk about it. Or can I go? Because I'm not going to go full rant, but like for me, it's a foul, right? And I know people disagree with me, and people disagree with me on Twitter earlier about it, but it's a foul. So what I would say is that if you can scenario it 4 ways, right? First is the one that we saw, right? Lloris gets the touch, collides with Wilson. They come together, and then Wilson hits and then Lloris hits the floor. Okay, Wilson's therefore standing up, scores a goal. Okay, that's what happened, and the goal was given. Second one is Wilson falls over, and Lloris doesn't, and Lloris carries on and then clears the ball. What's the ref's decision at that point? Most likely decision, probably a free kick to Newcastle, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't think there's a way that the keeper comes outside of his box and has a collision with a striker that causes him to hit the floor, and then the ref doesn't give it. Let's flip it the other way. I'm not finished yet.
It's a foul, mate.
It's a foul, but I want to explain it. Wilson gets the first touch. Lloris is standing there, and he knocks Lloris over. I'm assuming that's a foul to Tottenham at that point. Is it not? Or is it?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe. Or let's say Lloris is standing there and he collides with Wilson and Wilson falls over. That's a free kick and a red card, almost certainly.
Yeah.
So how is the only situation where it's not a foul the one where Newcastle get to score a goal?
Because it's cool to not be a foul. It's cool to not be a foul, isn't it? Because
he didn't want it, the ref didn't want to make a decision, so he left it to VAR.
It's cool not to be a foul, and if you're saying it's not, it's because you like to be a contrarian. There is a very, 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 very common sense thing there. Whereas if you're saying it's not a foul, you're either very outcomes driven or you're just contrarian. That you like to go against those type of things. So fine, that's fine with it. But look, the arm goes out. The arm goes out. The
arm is across his body. When Lloris takes the touch, then his arm's over here. It's a foul. And Mikel, onto your point, Mikel, this collision is not the same as like running alongside each other.
It's not
even close to the same thing.
It just is what it is, mate. And
we still think the Haaland one could be a foul, though.
Yeah. It is what it is. It happened, and we reacted really bad to it because we're really fragile right now. And
I've got no complaints with the second goal, other than it was just poor defending from Tottenham. I mean,
really
again,
poor.
we just put ourselves under pressure. Almiron is in a good place at the moment, and it was a really good finish.
Yeah, confident,
no issues.
Confident player against a guy, who's just given away a goal effectively.
Yeah.
Whether we're right or wrong, he's just already given away a goal. So it is what it is. In the whole, from a Tottenham perspective, they've still managed to contribute 1.6 XG through the game. They still are very dysfunctional in many of the ways they play. There's still just a massive gap between the strikers and the midfielders, and it was shown as more that first half. The whole reason we were so good in the first half hour was Ollie Skip was trying to break the line in midfield, and it was like,
so much.
We've not seen it,
Yeah, and normally we get that from we function slightly differently when Kulusevski does it because of where he is in the field. Like he plays as part of the front three rather than the midfield three. But yeah, it was much nicer to see. It was good to see.
Yeah,
but it's just a shame that like a lot of the good positions we got ourselves into ended with Emerson Royale being the furthest player forward, and it just slows everything back down again. Really, really frustrating because he's just not a very good footballer.
Newcastle are just a good team though, mate. They changed the way they played. Trippier was so disciplined. Like, he just didn't ever. He was never, ever, ever going to leave Son up against Shea.
Yeah. No,
never going to leave it. He turned down the overlap. One time in that first half, he went on the overlap. The rest of it didn't anything. The only thing he was doing was crossing from set pieces. Other than that, made no attempt at all to get into a good position. Was like, stuff that, you are not going to counter and get some of the ball. It was really, really impressive. They worked.
Mike's just put Miggy 1, Wiggy 0. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like that one.
I didn't like that.
The midfield three, Joe Linton works hard. Bruno just tactical fouls all over the pitch and gets away with it. Like, I don't understand how often he can do it and not get booked. I feel like it's because he basically just dyes his hair and then it's like, it's okay, I can do what I like because I'm a nice guy. And it's, he just had a baby.
Just had a baby, no sleep for 2 days.
Yeah, can't send him off because he's done that, despite the fact he's just kicking lumps every 5 minutes. They work really hard. They work
good side.
Really
we
hard.
said it last week. Like we said, we were singing their praises last week. We knew it was going to be a tough game for us today. I don't think we deserve to lose the game. No. It was just football at the end of the day, and a bad decision, in my opinion.
Oh, it is. But like I say, if the decision goes the other way, nobody's talking about it tonight. Nobody's going, "Oh my God, can't believe that's happened." Like, if that foul is given on the race, you just move on.
Yeah.
But because it wasn't, everyone will say, "Yeah, no, it was good. It's good. Let it run. All right, mate. You wait till it happens to your team."
Well said. So, anything else we want to look at with these fixtures coming up? I mean, if you've got questions now, guys, chuck them in there. We're almost at 1 hour and 10, so we'll just do 5 minutes of questions in a minute. Everton, top of that. I mean, it's been mentioned already, like DCL. We've already talked about DCL. Gordon. Cheap defenders.
I love Gordon. But there is price bias there, isn't it? Because none of us are really skin on money. And if you're moving people on, it's for stuff. And then the defenders is the weird one because
it's the expensive ones that we want to move on as well. It's like Salah. Should we get rid of him?
Yeah. Zaha,
Zaha, 7 million. Just chuck him in the bin.
But you can't because he's got ridiculous. He's got, home to Southampton. It's difficult. It's a very, very difficult situation this week for a lot of us.
So what are you planning for you personally?
I don't know. I'm moving between rolling.
Or take a hit.
Not take a hit. Okay. I just is my two options if I want Saka is I would move Bowen or Zaha. Now I could go back and forth. So I could do something like Bowen to Saka this week and then do Zaha back to Bowen next week.
Yeah, which I don't hate actually.
If I wanted to keep Mitro.
Yeah.
Or I could just roll it and then have two and think, right, what do I do? But I still think I'm going to look at it and go, who the hell do I get in?
Yeah.
Who the hell do you get in?
I don't know. It feels like I'm going to move with the crowd in 14 and then I might punt in 15, 16 for fun.
So safe play is just
Saka.
Just go Bowen to Saka and just move on for the week.
Yeah. It might be then Martinelli might be the one then for me, just because I can't afford it. And do I need to take a hit? Unless I think that, do I think that bringing in, who do I bring in? Because I don't particularly want to bring in an Arsenal defender, but do I want to bring in an Everton defender? Who's going to score points? Because if I need to justify a hit, I mean, I need a defender that's going to be involved. And the only defenders that seem to be involved from an attacking point of view are City defenders, Trippier, who already have. The Liverpool defenders don't do it anymore, or haven't been recently. Arsenal don't have the fixtures, and to be honest, apart from Ben White today, not really. Like Tomiyasu and Tierney and Zinchenko haven't done anything for a while there. Chelsea, no James, Chilwell, bit meh. Cucurella hauled off after half an hour. United have got West Ham. They can probably concede there.
It's rank, mate.
It's just really, really shit.
It is rank.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, we've got Champions League to get through this week, and then we've got decisions to make.
I might get some Monday night injuries.
Or Monday night injuries. Yeah, make your decision a lot easier.
Yeah, it would make a lot. Oh, if Bowen doesn't function tomorrow night, it makes the whole thing a lot easier.
Yeah, fair enough. We can watch that game nice and closely. So, okay, we'll take like 5 or 6 questions just to be really. And I can see people have disagreed with us about the foul, whatever. No Arsenal. Sell Almiron or Zaha for Saka. Buy a defender instead.
Oh God, how can you sell Migged when what he's doing to you? But how can you sell Zaha? And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. All of your players have got good games this week.
Yeah. Well, I'd sell Zaha personally.
Yeah.
I would sell Zaha
personally. With Altis takes so much more satisfaction.
Feel good. It just feels better.
Yeah.
Not having Zaha.
And this is the game. So 2 away games after this. I'm quite comfortable with the idea of selling Saka at 15.
Cool. SK says DCL from 15.
DCL from 15.
I don't hate it, but I think he's got. If he scores in 14, I think go. I think that's a nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice little buy signal there. And I know it's maybe stupid to do things on like 2-game samples, but fuck it. World Cup coming up, and you've got 2 weeks to have a punt. Go for it. You're not gonna get hurt too much in that area. So
he's got hat-tricks before.
Yes, he has. Mike says, please remember to like the stream. He is absolutely right. Please remember to like the stream. That would be much appreciated from our side. And if you want to see more content from us, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Lovely. Start Gahey or Dallo?
Oh, God, after this week.
We're both starting Gahey at the moment, though, this week, are we?
Yeah. I think about Yeah. I'm definitely starting Gahey this week.
Dallo was good again, though.
Yeah.
Dallo's more fun.
How sore are my shoulders?
Carrying me, mate. Carrying me this week, probably.
Well, this week?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, unless I can still get there, but I just need.
You can definitely get there easily.
I just need to West Ham.
Easy.
Will Doherty start next game against Bournemouth?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too.
I doubt it. Conte loves Emerson.
He just loves him.
What to do with Nunez? Keep him. Keep him because they're looking at him being ready for Wednesday. And if he's ready for Wednesday, then he'll play. He'll start next week after what happened this week.
Yeah.
Definitely. Patreon questions, Dan. Good point. Let me get over to Patreon questions. So only real dilemma is whether to make a move away from Zaha is from Dan. Yeah, I think we've covered that, Dan, by the way.
Keep Zaha.
Keep Zaha if you can. I mean, we just did it over Almiron. Daniel says, is it the right time now to get rid of Perisic? Such a frustrating player to own. If so, is Luke Shaw a punt worth going for?
Don't hate it. Do not
hate
hate. I thought Luke Shaw was good.
Cool. And Dan, you don't need to sign off your name at the end of your questions. That's cool. We know who you are. Dal, I'll go back to you, Dal. Do I do Bailey to Martinelli and Bowen to Saka for a -4, or just the first move as Bowen's got 2 good fixtures after Man U? I prefer that, actually. I would just do Bailey to Martinelli.
Yeah, I don't think I'd take a hit for Arsenal.
Yeah. There you go, Dal. And didn't I have a little one climbing all over? Yeah, my little one climbing over my shoulders when I was trying to set up the stream earlier. So Simon says KDB for Salah means moving Cancelo or Foden on, so a -4 needed. I don't think you need to rush. Not this week, Simon.
Nah.
I'm not up for that. And Steven says, I have Zaha. Do I keep him, or is it time for Saka? Also, is Kane a must now? I mean, I don't think Kane's a must, but he's like blank twice. Like literally nobody's. This is mad. Nobody's actually talking about Kane at all because of Haaland. Like it's just like if Haaland wasn't there, like everyone would be creaming over Kane. And I think England fans would be just all over this with the World Cup coming up. Like no one even giving him a second look because Haaland scored 20 bloody goals already this year. It's nuts. It's nuts. And I guess from an FPL perspective, he's not exploding. He's just ticking over, and that's what I guess. We've got some historical bias there because that's what we used to expect from our Jimenez, right? Our 8 million Jimenez would be 6 points, 6 points, 8 points, 8 points.
It does.
But
Stephen, it can finish off with, is this week proof you should never walk alone in a forest? Well done, mate. Well done.
Yes. I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Cool.
Dow, last one. I'll tell you this one because I know. I'm 140k with Bowen and Zuma to play. What could I end up with if they both return? So I can tell you that if they get 20 points to borrow between them, you would go up about 80,000 places, because that's where I'd be. So they'd wipe out my red arrow for this week if somehow Bowen and Zuma get 20 points. Yeah,
that's a lot of points. You'd need Bowen to double haul and assist,
or just cross the ball onto Zuma's head.
Or cross the ball onto Zuma's head
with a clean. Cross the ball onto Zuma's head with a clean, and it's done.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Cool. Well, we'll leave it at that. Guys, thank you in the stream for contributing today. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much for catching up with us, and hope you've had a good game week. It's been a pretty average one. Hopefully you've been above that. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Cool, boys. See you later.
Take it easy. Cheers.